Okay.
Or these other fuckers just let you guys do it?
Huh?
Policemen.
You know. All right. All right, guys. So now that we have the foundation for everything we're going to do with a red dot pistol, now we can start fucking crushing myths, right? And what's the most pervasive myth there is about dots? They're slow up close, okay? Let's go down memory lane and see how you guys, if you're, when you first got introduced to a red dot pistol, was like mine, right? So my buddy gets one. I know he's going out to the range. I get a call half an hour later, and he goes, bruh, I just hit a piece of steel at 100 yards with a goddamn pistol. You need to get out here. I feel like fucking Thor. You're like, hell yeah. So you get out there, you experiment, 25, 50, 75, and then you get up to 100, and you're... If you don't load the quad, it's not tactical, guys. Oh, hold on. Got to call wind and shit, right? What's the holdover? Thumb overhead? Got it. Hold on, a little bit more. Ding, hee, hee, hee. You laugh like a high school cheerleader, right? But why do you go through all that pomp and circumstance and ritual? Because what do you know you have a lot of at 100 yards? Time. And then you go, hey man, let's experiment at different distances, man. Let's check this thing out at 3 yards. And what subconsciously do you know you don't have a lot of at 3 yards? Time, right? So what do you start doing? You start fucking hunting for that dot, right? You start moving all these multiple moving axes with your head leaning forward, punching out and shit, and you can't find the goddamn dot. You're like, fuck, what's the matter? Oh, I know. I don't have the proper mindset. That fixes everything, right? So you try to start mindsetting the dot into fucking fuck it. You throw the gun on the ground, go on the internet and tell everybody the dot is slow up close. And then I come into the thread, I'm like, hey man, how much training you got on the dot? And you're like, training? Who needs fucking training, right? I'm like, well, it's not working out for you so far, okay? One of the reasons why that happens is that we start holding the dot to a higher standard than irons, okay? And at that distance, at least at 3 yards, you don't need to do that, okay? Why? The concept is the cone of deviation, right? The cone starts at 0, super narrow, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, out to infinity. The further you're out, the smaller the target, the wider the cone of deviation. But at 3 yards, it's super narrow, man. You don't need a lot of information to make an appropriately accurate shot. Now, I'm not talking about point shooting. I'm talking about gross sight pictures, okay? That being said, who still shoots irons a lot? Okay, cool. So I'm going to ask you, because I know you're going to give me an entertaining answer. Especially. So, did you ever serve in the IDF?
No.
Oh, you're okay. No. All right, fine.
He's not Israeli.
He's not really Israeli then. Okay. Awesome.
He's not. He's not.
Oh, I thought you were. I thought you said you were.
I'm a Jew that was born in Ukraine.
Oh, okay. So
To make
it's
it
the
more
accent.
complicated. And
Oh,
more
yeah.
complicated than left when it was still USSR.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Okay. Cool. Sorry.
Where are you going to go
I
with
know.
one now?
What you say?
I'm going to get back to so where are we going from there?
Yeah, exactly. I apologize and move on. Anyway, so let's say that you're going to give at 3 yards, iron sight pistol. You're going to give me 3 rounds in this A zone. What effective sight package are you going to give me to get me those A zone hits? Don't lie to me. I'm not a judge.
As long as it's somewhere in that area.
What is somewhere in there?
We're talking about iron. As long as iron there, and as long as the red dot.
What specific one though? What
The
iron?
front.
The front sight.
Yeah.
Are you really looking for that front sight at 3 yards? I said don't lie to me.
My front sight is bright. I just changed it to orange because of the kite.
That's why you're slow.
Yes.
Anybody else want to give it a whirl?
Look at the back.
Looking at the back of the gun. Be careful with that front sight bullshit, guys. Because the only reason why you say front sight is because it sounds legal, because it has sight in the word. Okay? But here's the thing, man. When is your front sight most clear? When your rear sight ain't blocking that shit. Right? When you go out and you zero your carbine at 50 yards with your irons, you go hard front sight, you walk up, it's 4 fucking feet high. Why? When's that front sight on your carbine most clear? When the rear aperture is down here, right? But if we looked at the back of the gun, right, your slide plane is going to be much more even because that's your reference. Does that make sense? So the first one, right, with both the iron sight pistol and the red dot pistol have in common is your back plate, okay? Or if you have a hammer fire gun, it's your hammer. You're not looking at your hammer or your back plate, you're looking through it, okay? Onto the target. We're always target focused. We're just using that as our aiming reference, okay? Next one is, and that's where the similarities between the two pistols ends. The next one is instead of your back plate, it's your glass, okay? Don't give a shit if you see the dot or not, right? But we're still aiming, we're still putting the housing, right, in the middle of that day zone. We're gonna shoot 3 rounds, see how accurate we can be. Finally, if finally you're using the guillotine, you're cutting the A zone in half with the top of the optic, okay? So if you got an RMR, right, with the owl ears, it looks like that. If you've got a rounded one, like a delta point, a SIG, or a hollow sun, you're using the apex of that curvature of the housing as your aiming reference, right? Because the SRO curvature is, you know, almost the same. The SRO looks like that, right? For my guy shooting the acro, yours kind of looks like fucking that. Little mailbox action going on there, okay? Right, so that's what that looks like, okay? I'm half joking on that, right? So I'm gonna demo this, right? Let's see how accurate I can be with gross sight pictures, and you guys are then gonna test it out, all right? So, eyes and ears.
Eyes and ears.
All right, here we go. Back of the gun, back of the gun. Blast. Top of the optic. All right, downrange? Can we agree with the pace in which I just shot and the level of accuracy those would be effective hits on target?
Yes.
Sure. Now, some of you may have noticed that I had to cant the gun a little bit, right? That's not so I can see the dot and lie to you guys that I'm not. That's so I don't see the dot, okay? My index is so good, for me not to find the dot, I have to be underwater fighting sharks or some shit, right? But how did I get that way? I'm doing gross sight picture drills just like this, okay? What do I mean by that? I always get this guy that comes up to me in class, right, introduces himself, but he's got this really pitiful, sad, faraway look on his face, and I know what's going on in his head. He's like, "Hi man, my name is Mark, where the fuck is the dot? I can't find the dot," right? And I'm like, "Relax bro, it's in your holster right now, okay?" But then that guy does these gross sight picture drills, and all that angst and anxiety about finding a tiny little dot, right, goes away. So instead of leaning forward, squatting, putting his shoulders right, he just brings the gun to his eye, and now, because he's not trying to find a small dot, he's trying to find the back plate glass or top of the optic. Now that he's not trying to find the dot, what does he find? The dot, okay? So this drill has 2 purposes. The first one is austere conditions. For whatever reason, the dot is not there, right? Dead battery, broken glass, something has happened. That's the first part. The next part is a development of performance. We'll talk about that when we get there, okay? Cool, so we need to figure out which one you guys like the best, right? So relay 1, you're up first.